So there's this really massive discomfort with being a beginner, but having to accept that as a part of starting something new, like having a beginner's mindset is really important, which means you're not going to be the best at it. You are going to make mistakes. We were just chatting briefly before. We both used to record at home. So many, phone died halfway through, audio didn't record, but it helps you build and grow to become the podcaster you are today. And so fear, I think, can be one of those things that can really hold people back. And it certainly was something that for me pushed back me starting the podcast longer than had I not had the fear. But I think what I've realized, and probably you can relate to this as well, is you just accept that as a sign or a part of starting something new. And I think the biggest mindset shift I could offer anyone is, instead of looking at it as this represents that I'm not ready to start, look at it as just a symbol that you're putting yourself out of your comfort zone. And just by starting to do the things, the fear starts to go. Because all that fear represents is this unknown, this uncertainty, like what you spoke about. But when you start buying the equipment, or start putting together a business plan, or start to reach out to people, you slowly start to close the gap between where you are now and you actually starting that thing. And every step you do gets you a little bit closer, which also reduces that fear. And so it feels counterintuitive because you don't feel ready to do it, but you're never ready to do something that you've never done before, is really the bottom line. So you have to just take action in spite of it rather than waiting for it to go. And just remember that every single person, I'd be very shocked if I met someone who did something out of their comfort zone that wasn't a little bit fearful of doing so.
When we look at a lot of these diaries and letters from big public speakers, they always say that they have an element of fear, nervousness, and anxiety right before they get on the stage. Even a person like Tony Robbins, he says, right when I'm backstage, I'm actually scared to go on. But then there's this, and that's where courage comes in, right? Courage is the ability to act despite of fear being there. It's not that fear isn't going to be there. And I like what you said about closing the gap of where you are and where you should be, or where you are looking to see yourself, and doing those. And I always tell people, like, if you take small steps every day, or multiple times a day, it makes it much more easier than you taking one